بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
قاف والقرآن المجيد بل عجبوا أن جاءهم منذر منهم فقال الكافرون هذا شيء عجيب أإذا متنا وكنا ترابا ذلك رجع بعيد قد علمنا ما تنقص الأرض منهم وعندنا كتاب حفيظ بل كذبوا بالحق لما جاءهم فهم في أمر مريج أفلم ينظروا إلى السماء فوقهم كيف بنيناها وزيناها وما لها من فروج والأرض مددناها وألقينا فيها رواسي وأنبتنا فيها من كل زوج بهيج تبصرة وذكرى لكل عبد منيب ونزلنا من السماء ماء مباركا فأنبتنا به جنات وحب الحصيد والنخل باسقات لها طلع نضيد رزقا للعباد وأحيينا به بلدة ميتا كذلك الخروج كذبت قبلهم قوم نوح وأصحاب الرس وثمود وعاد وفرعون وإخوان لوط وأصحاب الأيكة وقوم تبع كل كذب الرسل فحق وعيد أفعينا بالخلق الأول بل هم في لبس من خلق جديد ولقد خلقنا الإنسان ونعلم ما توسوس به نفسه ونحن أقرب إليه من حبل الوريد إذ يتلقى المتلقيان عن اليمين وعن الشمال قعيد ما يلفظ من قول إلا لديه رقيب عتيد وجاءت سكرة الموت بالحق ذلك ما كنت منه تحيد ونفخ في الصور ذلك يوم الوعيد وجاءت كل نفس معها سائق وشهيد لقد كنت في غفلة من هذا فكشفنا عنك غطاءك فبصرك اليوم حديد وقال قرينه هذا ما لدي عتيد ألقيا في جهنم كل كفار عنيد مناع للخير معتد مريب الذي جعل مع الله إلها آخر فألقياه في العذاب الشديد قال قرينه ربنا ما أطغيته ولكن كان في ضلال بعيد قال لا تختصموا لدي وقد قدمت إليكم بالوعيد
A lot of us aspire, including myself, to be able to read the Quran in Arabic. And that's one of the reasons why I promote the Kalam app, because it teaches you the Arabic of the Quran and the Hadith specifically so you can understand the words of Allah, so you can read the Quran and understand what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying. You say the word and it lets you know if you got it right or wrong. And if you got it wrong, it'll correct you, tell you how to say it properly, and have you practice until you get it right.
إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح.
This kind of active memory recall is one of the best methods of studying, and the app truly helps you hold on to the words so you remember them or you remember what they mean. And when you read the Quran, you could read it and say, I actually know what that means. And as someone who's learning Arabic right now, it's one of the best feelings when I can listen to an ayah being recited and be like, I actually understand that. So if you guys want to learn the Arabic of the Quran and even the Hadith of the Prophet, peace be upon him, then download the Kalam app. The link will be down below and you can get an extended free trial using code RAMI. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome back to the channel. It is not clickbait. The title and the thumbnail is not meant to clickbait you. This is real and it really happened. Now, maybe not in the way you thought it would happen, but Nick Fuentes said some very egregious things about our brother, SonnyFaz. Why? Because he's a white guy who accepted Islam. If you don't know, let me just key you in. Firstly, let me say that this video will feature some not so nice sounding things. I don't want to say anything to get it flagged already, but the terms and the rhetorical device of imagery used in this video will not be pleasing. It'll be a bit disturbing, but I think we're all adults, inshallah. And if you're not an adult, then you can just skedaddle, go watch Teletubbies or something else. But regardless, Nick Fuentes for a while has considered SonnyFaz, our brother in Islam, a race traitor, because he's no longer a Christian. He no longer wants to worship a Jewish man who was walking the earth 2,000 years ago and was supposedly, allegedly killed by his own creation because he just so happens to also be God. He doesn't want to any longer eat God's flesh and drink his blood on Sundays after the church has its weekly rock concert where they sing hallelujah and whatever else. SonnyFaz decided he wants to worship the one true God, the creators of the heavens and the earth, the most gracious, the most merciful, Allah, which just means God in Arabic, and Christians refer to their God as Allah in Arabic as well. Regardless of all of that, for these reasons, Nick Fuentes considers SonnyFaz, for all intents and purposes, a race traitor because he's a white person and he's not a Christian. This is a pathetic attempt at apologetics. Really, that's what it is. It's trying to guilt and pull white people into Christianity or back into Christianity or retain them as Christians by pressuring them based on the color of their skin and calling them something as egregious as a traitor. We all know what it's like to be betrayed and to refer to people as traitors for their ill intent or their ill doings upon us, their country, or whoever else. And it's a dastardly label. It's a terrible thing, and we all hate it for the obvious reason that we trust someone and they turn their backs on us and feed us to the dogs and whatever else. SonnyFaz is not a traitor. SonnyFaz is a brother, he's a good doer, and he accepted the truth. Something that Nick Fuentes seems to not want to do for whatever reason. But regardless, let's jump into it, inshallah. Nick Fuentes made a long rant about Sneeko and SonnyFaz. And without talking about it, I'm going to play it and I'm going to commentate on it, inshallah. And you'll see towards the end is where Sonny, or Nick Fuentes rather, says something pretty nasty about SonnyFaz, and hence the title and thumbnail in this video. So with that being said, let us jump into it.
Yes, big shout out to Max.
It's a little silent. Let's turn it up.
Crypt 84 cent $100. One thing connecting Jews, Muslims, and immigrants with regard to expectations of Americans.
Look at that super chat already, like right off the bat. One thing connecting Muslims and Jews and immigrants. Like, come on, man. Like, off to a pretty terrible start.
Scamming welfare, mass Islamic prayer in public, and subverting government is an assimilation.
Yup. Thank you for the big super chat. That's kind of the point I'm trying to make. They want us to choose and say, oh, we're team Islam. We hate Islamophobia. And Islam's terrific because they revere Jesus as a prophet. And it's like, no, we don't want Muslims here. We don't want millions of Muslims here. That is not who we are. And it's because Islam is not the truth. Islam is not the truth. Jesus Christ is the truth. The Logos is the truth.
Logos, as far as I know, just means word. And we know that the word of God is either his speech or his decree, his command. And that's why when he gave Mother Mary, Maryam alayhi salam, may God be pleased with her and send his peace and blessings upon her, when he gave Maryam his word, it's a command, it's a word that Jesus will be created, because God only says to something be, and it is. But look at how he's preaching already. All he's doing. Is there any argument? Is there any evidence? Is there any proof? No, it's just preaching. It's just preaching. Jesus is the truth. Jesus is the truth. Buddy, how about you bring something substantive, something that we can analyze and look at together and validate or refute? Your preaching is not going to get you anywhere. And my theory, actually, the theory someone else gave to me, if I'm being real, is that the reason Nick Fuentes goes so hard against SonnyFaz is not just because he's a white guy who left Christianity for Islam. It's because he's a white guy who left Christianity for Islam and advocates for Islam with reason, with logic, with rationality, with evidence, and with emotional intelligence. I think he sees SonnyFaz as making an actual, real impact. And by the way, on his audience. Why? Because SonnyFaz, rather, he goes after the Zionists who are trying to plague America. His America First video, right? His video about this disease that America has, what the disease is, how we should get rid of it. His work against the fake Christian Jake Lang with his marches and his protests against Islam and putting Qur'ans in pigs' mouths and blah, 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 blah. Him and his 5'2" butt, which recently got kicked. If you guys didn't see, I made a video about that as well. So SonnyFaz is not just a white guy who became a Muslim and started preaching Islam, but he is a white guy who left Christianity, became a Muslim, started preaching Islam to Nick Fuentes' audience. Yeah, parasite. Yes, not disease, parasite. Thank you. That was the word he used. So that's why Nick Fuentes feels it so personally that SonnyFaz became a Muslim and started preaching. And by the way, he's doing a phenomenal job. Him and Beck Lover are doing such a good job. And you know what? I think it's a good thing when people like this feel this burning inside, this anger, this rage inside when they see SonnyFaz and others preach Islam. It's a good thing because it's a sign that it's working. Because the shayateen, the devils, the demons, they hate what is good. The Muslims love what is good, they hate what is evil. The shayateen, the evildoers, they love what is evil and they hate what is good. And you'll see, inshallah, as we go.
Christ is the Word is with God. So no, Islam is a false religion. If you are a Muslim, you are worshiping a demon.
If you're a Muslim, you're worshiping a demon. Okay. Why? Why are we worshiping a demon if you're a Muslim? He doesn't provide a reason, by the way, just so you guys know. He doesn't provide a reason. Muslims worship one who is not formed, no figure, no idol, no statue. You can't see him with your eyes. You can't touch him with your hands. He didn't come out of a woman's uterus, to put it lightly. He didn't poop and eat. He didn't have cravings and desires. He wasn't persecuted by his own creation and put up on a cross and die a cursed death at the hands of his own creation. We worship the one true God. You worship a man who also worshiped the one true God. If that's not demonic and evil, I'll tell you what is. The fact that Christians, not all of them, but Catholics, which Nick Fuentes is, believes that on Sunday he eats his God's flesh and drinks his God's blood. Yes, he believes he drinks God's blood and eats God's flesh. Is that not demonic? Sorry, we're the demon because we put our head on the floor praying to the one true God, the creator of the universe, just like Jesus did, just like Moses, just like Abraham, just like David, just like all the prophets did, just like Noah, peace and blessings be upon all of the prophets and messengers of God. Where we worship a demon? Okay, sure, buddy. Keep telling yourself that.
Okay. And I know Nostra Aetate says, well, they worship the monotheistic God. They worship the Father.
Yeah, his own Pope, by the way, and Catholics believe the Pope's word is authoritative. It's almost as if God said it. So the Pope said, that, or one of the Popes in history, said that Muslims and Christians worship the same God. Okay, we worship the Father in their eyes. So he, as a Catholic, is obligated to believe the same thing.
I don't think so. They're following.
Did he just apostate from Catholicism? I'm pretty sure it's heretical to go against the Pope's word, but I don't know. I could be wrong. I'm not a Catholic, but I know that the Pope's word is authoritative in Catholicism.
Some cult. I don't support it. I don't want it in my country. It is foreign and it isn't true. So they're trying to get.
So is Christianity, dummy. Where do you think? Do you think Christianity came out of New York? Do you think it was invented at Silicon Valley or something? Like, Christianity came out of Palestine, a partially desert region. It came out of the Middle East. It came out of where I'm from, by the way. So why is Islam foreign? Which, by the way, the early Christians, the disciples of Jesus and Jesus himself, were basically Muslim. They practice and preach exactly what Muslims do. So if you're willing to accept what Jesus supposedly taught and whatever, that's us. We're literally the living, walking, talking examples of that. We're the living embodiment of that. Do you think Christianity came out of Florida or something? Like, it came out of Chicago, Illinois, like you? Jazakallah khair for the super chat, Drago. $10 super chat. May Allah bless you immensely, increase you in goodness, and accept all your good. Allahumma. I mean, people don't realize how dangerous what he said is. I assume he meant. He basically is giving them the idea of a false flag on kind of a passionate guy. This should not be taken lightly. I was flabbergasted. Yeah, it is a flabbergasting thing. It is such a detestable thing. And just put yourselves in SonnyFaz's shoes for a second. Imagine someone with a platform like this. Someone who is as vindicated as he is in his community says something like that. Your life is basically being threatened. That is not okay. That is not normal. That's a scary thing. And the fact that this guy has to resort to saying something so heinous, so disgusting, because he can't defend his own religion. He can't wrap his little head around the fact that a white person found the truth of Islam and denounced paganism is pathetic and sad. But let's continue.
You to go on that side. Oh, boo Israel, we're pro-Muslim. And the Jews are trying to do the exact opposite. And they're saying, oh, Muslims are the problem. Boo Muslims, and Jews are fine. Jews are fighting Islam.
I'm sorry for pausing again. The comparison is so stupid. You don't have a Muslim PAC that's funding pro-Muslim and anti-Israel media to push like pro-Saudi agendas and bills or something in Congress. That's not happening. It's only the Israelis. It's only the Zionists doing that. So it's not a like for like comparison. They're trying to demonize Muslims so they can go to war with Muslim countries and take more Palestinian land, and you guys can keep feeding them your dollars. Okay, you're the ones who are ideologically colonized. Okay, the Muslims are not doing that to you. The Zionists are doing that to you. We just want to be left alone. Get the heck out of our countries, get out of our land, stop stealing our oil, stop bombing our lands, and then crying and complaining that we come to your country because we know you're not going to bomb us in your own country. Leave us alone. And now that we're in the country and we're being lied about and demonized and everything, we start fighting back and saying, listen, you guys are basically ideologically colonized through Zionism and AIPAC and all of these different organizations. And we're the villain. We're supposed to be the villain. No, we're not. And now he thinks we want him to take our side. We know that you don't like Islam. And you know what? That's fine. I don't care. Because frankly, I don't care what you like and don't like. That's fine. Don't lie about us. Don't persecute our people. Don't say that, oh, this guy, I hope they off him. I hope they off his head. It's a moronic and brain dead thing to do, and a moronic and brain dead thing to say.
We're Judeo-Christian. We're people of the book, blah, blah. And you go, no, we don't want you either. Judaism is also a false religion. That is also a...
What does it mean by Judaism? Because like if you're talking about like the laws of the prophets and stuff, no, it's not. Jesus practiced it. But if you mean the like modern day Talmud and like all that, you know, nonsense that they added or anything that's not authoritative, then okay, fair enough. But I wouldn't go as far as to say that, because there are remnants in it that are authoritative, or at least from their perspective were once upon a time.
False religion. You're worshiping a demon too. Your Talmud, your mysticism, your Chabad Lubavitch, your Lurianic Kabbalah, you're worshiping a demon too. That's also a false religion. We don't want that here either. So it's like I say, we have to take our own side, even if you're a pagan, okay? Even if you're a pagan.
You are a pagan, if we're being real. You are a pagan. What do you mean if you're a pagan? You are a pagan.
Even if you're a non-Christian, Our civilization is Christian. That's our cultural language. That is our heritage. That is our moral vocabulary.
Well, I hate to break it to you, but America is a secular liberal country that has freedom of religion and freedom of speech, which means you're free to practice your religion, you're free to be any religion, pardon me, and you're free to preach any religion in the street. So yeah, you could say that the majority of the population are Catholic or Protestant or Christian in some sense of the word. That's fine. But when you say as a country, that almost implies to certain ears that almost implies that it's a legislative, a constitutional thing, and that is not the case.
We are a Christian civilization.
Yo, who's fighting over like the attributes of Allah in the chat? Like, can we focus on one thing at a time, please? Like, none of you are people of knowledge. You're in a YouTube comment section. Just stop it, or else I'm going to start banning people, okay?
And that's the big dog, and that is what we're going with. Even if you're not a Christian, it's what it is. That's Rome, that's Neoplatonism, that's the Scholastics. That is who we are.
He's a Neoplatonist? Okay, great. So does he think one actually exists ontologically somewhere?
Contrary to Islam, contrary to Judaism, contrary to Marxism, liberalism.
Are you not in a liberal country? Are you not in a social liberal country? Or when you say liberalism, do you mean like left-leaning as opposed to like being a libertarian?
So, yeah, I agree. We have to take that middle path. And I'm so sick of hearing about, Islamophobia, Muslims are our closest allies. I don't think so. I don't think so. I'm not really about that, because it's never a two-way street. And they come here and it's so funny. I saw this with Sneeko. You notice this with Sneeko? So the other day, Sneeko is responding to a video of Muslims praying in the park at night. And some boomer goes up to them and he's trolling them and he's yelling at them.
Hate preaching. Trolling gives the idea that it's a joke. I'm sure the guy would said it with all seriousness, trying to harass them, but regardless.
And Sneeko goes, they're not bothering anybody. No one's there. They're in the park. It's at night. They're not bothering anybody. They're just hanging out. And then where do you see Sneeko during Ramadan? Times Square, New York, in the middle of the evening. Oh, so what happened?
That's completely consistent. He said there's nothing wrong with Muslims praying, and then he prayed. Like, what? Did I miss something? Let me go back. Am I not tracking?
And then where do you see Sneeko during Ramadan? Sneeko goes, they're not bothering anybody.
Yeah.
No one's there. They're in the park. It's at night. They're not bothering anybody. They're just...
So it's the fact that people are there? Yeah, the Times Square is meant to be booked out. It was sanctioned. It was allowed by the city, and the police are there. It's legal. It's allowed. So the whole point of they're not bothering anyone, that's the whole point of Times Square. There are multiple events that take place there. And people were, by the way, people knew the event was happening. They went to go bother the Muslims. So it's the Muslims' event. The Muslims are supposed to be there. Non-Muslims can come and watch and enjoy. But if you're there to heckle, then you're the one causing the disruption, not the Muslims. In the other case, it was different. You see this moronic, false equivalence? In the other case, it's different because they're at a park. It's not sanctioned for praying. That night, Times Square was sanctioned for Tarawih. It was sanctioned for prayer, and it was approved, right? It was allowed. So anyone who goes to heckle, they're the now intrusive ones. They're now intruding on the Muslims there.
Just hanging out. And then where do you see Sneeko during Ramadan? Times Square, New York, in the middle of the evening. Oh, so what happened? So first you go, holy...
Deviant, bro, I'm going to trust you with mod, okay? Don't disappoint me, man. How do I give you here? Out as a moderator. Here. You're a mod. Don't abuse your power, okay?
Leave us alone. It's Islamophobia. We're not bothering anybody. Then you're in Times Square. What's the excuse now?
You don't need an excuse. Again, it's such a moronic equivalence here.
Now you are bothering everybody. And you know what you're doing now? Now you're an imposition. You're imposing that on everybody. You're in the center of our country. Times Square is the center.
You know what, Deviant, bro? You see what you guys are doing to me? Deny. Just don't ban anyone. Everyone stop. Everybody stop. Relax. Okay? Thank you.
Of our great global city, of our empire city. And you are taking up space there for no other reason than to make a statement, which is we are here and we are Muslim and we are here to conquer. That is what.
Nope. The statement is not we're here to conquer. The statement is we're here, we're practicing, we're allowed to practice. Do you really, like, do you really think praying is conquering? Like, let's say you invited a Muslim into your home and they prayed in your house. They just conquered your home. You consider yourself conquered? Like, it's such a stupid, moronic, brain-dead thing. What's the definition of conquering? Because usually it has to do with control and force. And last I checked, the Muslims don't have any control or force. The closest you'll get is in Muslim-majority cities like Dearborn, Michigan, where the mayor is Muslim, majority of people are Muslim, and therefore they might be Muslim-leaning. So they play the adhan out loud. That's the farthest you get.
What that is about. So the goal there is to be as conspicuous as possible. And then you go, you know what? This isn't a Muslim country. Pack it the fuck up and take it to a mosque.
Listen, if someone's disrespecting the Prophet ﷺ, then you can ban him. That's fine. I just thought you guys are like arguing Salafi, non-Salafi, whatever. But if someone's disrespecting the Prophet ﷺ, then get him out of here.
You're lucky we have a First Amendment. You do have freedom to practice your religion. Practice it in your constitutionally protected mosque.
How about my constitutionally protected right? Well, I'm not American, so not me, but how about their constitutionally protected right to pray at Times Square? Because it's legal and it's allowed.
You don't see Christians doing a march with the rosary.
We see Christians doing marches against Islam. And by the way, do marches with the rosary. Go do it. Do your Christian events at Times Square. I don't care. I'm not going to cry about it. It's a secular liberal country. You have that freedom. Do it. Go congregate and do it. Or are you guys upset that the Muslims are congregating and you're not congregating? Go ahead and do it. Just leave Islam out of it. For some reason, all the Christian protests always have to do with Muslims. You don't see Muslims getting together and saying, to hell with Christianity and whatever in the street. Get Christianity out of the country. Just go do your protests, do your marches, do your events in public and whatever, at Times Square, everywhere else, about Christianity. Like, we don't care.
You don't see a procession in Dubai. You don't see a procession.
Yeah, Dubai is not a country where you have that freedom of religion. And by the way, even as a Muslim, you can't go do that stuff in public. Even as a Muslim, you can't go and just start, preaching in the streets and marching in the streets and whatever against the government, because they'll do some stuff to you, perhaps. But it's not like for like. Again, it's a moronic comparison.
In Mecca, you don't see a Christian.
Yeah, do you think Muslims go to the Vatican and start doing this stuff? Like, are you a moron? Comparing Mecca, the holy city, where non-Muslims aren't even allowed? That's how like sanctified and sanctioned it is from non-Muslims. You're comparing that to Manhattan, Times Square? Like, really?
In procession in Medina or in those cities in Qum, you don't see a procession over there because it's not allowed. Christians.
Sneaker was telling Nick, go pray in public as well. Then these Christians won't even pray in public in their own country. That's the thing. They don't pray. They don't care about the religion. They only care about the religion when it comes to Islam. A Christian who has not gone to church in like 20 years will come out and say, Jesus is king, Jesus is Lord, Jesus is God. You're a Muslim, you worship a demon, you follow this kind of prophet. You haven't been to church in 20 years. You don't know what John 1:1 says. Nick does, thankfully. No one else does. The layman Christian doesn't know what Jesus preached. They don't know John 17:3. They don't know their own religion. They don't know that eating God on Sunday is a literal thing. It's not metaphorical. They literally believe that they're eating God's flesh and drinking his blood.
Have their area over there where they can practice, but it's not allowed everywhere. Certainly not allowed in the middle. And then you know what Sneeko says when you call him out? He goes, "You're right. You're right. We are Muslim, and we did just pray in New York, and we are. So which is it?" And this is what they do.
He keeps saying things that are not a contradiction. He keeps saying things that are not a contradiction and then going, well, so which one is it? Is it this or is it that? State a contradiction, state a P and not P, so I can assert which one it is and which one it is not.
That is how.
Listen. Okay, can I ban this guy who is nonstop talking about Wahhabis, even though you said... Okay, brother, one last warning. Stop talking about Wahhabis and Salafis and whatever. Just stop, please. This is not the point of this stream, and you're making things difficult for the chat. Stop talking about it, or Denied has my permission to put you in timeout for like a whopping 20 minutes or whatever the closest increment is. Okay, thank you.
They are. They're very crafty. At once, they play the victim. And they go, leave us alone, Islamophobia, oy vey. They literally sound like Jews. They're
Okay. When you come to our countries and you kill 1 million Iraqis, and you off a bunch of people in Libya, you bomb Libya, you destroy Syria, you give arms to a country that has completely like ruined the Middle East, stolen my land personally, and just massacred innocent men, women, and children. We both agree they're committing a genocide and that they're evil. And your country is allowing that. And we play the victim because you offed 1 million people in Iraq. Okay, and that's being conservative, by the way. And you expect all of a sudden us to not act like it happened, to act like, oh no, America's never done anything like that. You guys are perfect angels and we're all happy. Well, let's live in harmony. We can live in harmony. It's fine. Just give us our due rights and leave us alone. Get out of our countries. And in your country where freedom of religion is allowed, allow us to express that right of freedom of religion. Allow us to express that. It's not playing the victim when we try and pray in public and then people harass us. We are quite literally a victim of harassment in that case. Like, were you not a victim of stalking or harassment when people came to your doorstep? Maybe you wouldn't call yourself a victim, but you are still a victim of that crime.
literally just like the Jews. This is what the Jews do.
And by the way, this whole thing, it's so funny. This whole thing, he's crying and complaining and playing the victim. These Muslims are praying at Times Square and they're conquering and they're making statements. And are you not playing the victim? Are you not crying and complaining that Muslims are in your country?
The Jews will say, we're the victim, anti-Semitism. And like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, they say anti-Semitism is out of control. We don't feel safe in the city. And then they go, you're right, we do run the media. We're going to crush you.
Okay, Mr. White Genocide. Okay, Mr. White people are being genocided in their white majority country. All right, Mr. Other people are playing the victim. Okay.
Just like with the Muslims. It's Bismillah, Islamophobia, everyone's...
It's Bismillah. Like, this guy's so brain dead. Oh my God.
attacking us, and they go, we are here, and we're in Times Square, and you can't do a fucking thing about it.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. If you attack us, you're wrong for attacking us. And if we exercise our right to pray in public, and then you cry that we're praying in public, we have the right to be like, yeah, we're praying in public. What are you going to do about it? It's legal. It's allowed. I still don't see any contradiction on it. I still don't see any problem. And this is coming from the guy who was crying like a few months ago that there's a white genocide because white people are being replaced and a bunch of immigrants are coming to the country.
And that's why Christians need to say, no more gaslighting. No more gaslighting. Raise up the cross.
Do it. I don't care. Raise your cross. Am I stopping you? Why aren't you raising? Where's your cross, Nick? Why don't you have a cross in your desk? Lift it up. Where is it? It's all preaching. It's all virtue signaling and preaching and demeaning other people. It's lame. It's lame.
I want a Roman salute from everybody. A Roman salute to our Caesar. A Roman salute to our church. Hail Christ. Hail Christ.
Then why don't you? You zesty 5'2" gremlin. Why? Just do it. Stop talking about it and just do it. It's putting a cross in the air. Do it. Like, no one's stopping you.
Hail Caesar, hail Rome. Okay, this is the...
Hail Rome. All right, buddy. All right. You mean the Rome that was ended by the Muslims? All right.
new Rome, bitch. And we're taking Muslims by their thobe and all their goofy shit, and we're taking Jews by their yarmulke, and we gotta flick them back out to the Middle East. Get the fuck...
Let's see that happen. Let's see that happen. You might as well be wearing nail polish at this point. You zesty freak show. Like, do it. Go. Try and let's see if it happens. Let's see if you flick the Muslims out. Okay? Because right now, your Congress and your president are being controlled by the Zionists. Okay? So deal with one thing at a time, one problem at a time. And while you're at it, if you listen, you want to know how to get Muslims the heck out of your country? You want to know how instantly to have Muslims leave Europe, leave America, leave Canada, leave Western nations, get out of our countries, allow us to build, allow Israel to just diffuse because you stop funding them and they just grow too weak to sustain themselves. And then me and all the other Muslims will get the hell out of your freaking doo-doo hedonistic country. Okay? I will be the first to get on a boat or a plane or walk on water if I need to go back home. Okay? As an Iraqi, there is no household not missing a member, and Muslims have not done anything. In fact, wow, the people they brought from Africa were Muslim. Wow, subhanAllah. Yeah, well, not all of them, but yeah, a good chunk of them were, unfortunately. Clav, Tate, Fuentes, and all of them are the lot bought by the Zionists, except Sneeko, he's good. Exactly. And you know what? So one person referred to Nick Fuentes as a pressure valve. He's not someone who's like an apologist. He's not someone who's like blatant and defending Zionism, but he's someone who's like a pressure valve. He's supposed to like turn up the anti-Semitism or turn up the Islamophobia or turn up or turn down certain valves to increase or decrease pressure in certain places. And I don't know if I fully believe that, but it would be insanely interesting if that were the case. But I'm not claiming that at all, to be honest. I don't think we should claim things without evidence.
Out of here. This is a new Rome, bitch. This is a new Rome, motherfucker.
Does he know his country's on the decline? Does he know that? Like, does he know this is usually the beginning of the end for a country? Like Ibn Khaldun radiallahu anhu, or rahimallah, my bad, rahimallah, he wrote in his book Al-Muqaddimah that at the beginning of an empire, the taxes are low and the profits are high. And towards the end of the empire, the taxes are high and the profits are low. Your taxes are just getting higher and higher each year, right? The billionaires are getting richer, but the middle class are getting poorer. And people are not making as much. Minimum wage is not going up anywhere close to the amount it should be to keep up with the inflation of prices and the taxes going up every single year or few years.
Get on board or get out. Somalians, get the fuck out. Hasidic Jews, get the fuck out. Ben Shapiro, get the fuck out.
Okay, that one's valid. Let's be real. Let's all be real. That's valid. Just going to skip past all the swearing.
Love to see the boomers out there in New York. Thank you, boomers. Thank you, MAGA boomers. I know you may not be based on Israel, but thank you, base boomers, for fighting for space in our fucking country. This is not a Muslim country at all. No Muslim roots here. This is a Christian country. When Christopher Columbus came here, it was a flag with a cross on it. It was christened for Christ.
And who was here when Mr. Columbus pulled up on the shore? Who was here? Were they Christians? No. So not only is this country based on Christianity, like he says, it's also based on bloodshed, lies, and a genocide and a massacre. And forced assimilation, by the way. So why don't you rep that part as much as the Christianity part?
And this is...
And I feel like it just crossed his mind. He saw a little pause where he just looks at the camera for a second. I feel like it crossed his mind that, oh yeah, we did do that. It was pretty bad, but let's move on.
It's a Christian nation. Don't make a mistake and think it's anything else. It always has been. How many of the colonies had a state-run church at the time of the founding? How many of the founding fathers were Christian? What was the percentage of Christians at the time of the founding? Who were the settlers that came here? The Puritans, the Catholics, the Presbyterians, all these other, who were the Quakers? What religion were they from? How many of them were Sunni and Shia? No, sorry, they were Quakers. They were Puritans. They were Catholics.
Well, the fourth U.S. president, James Madison, said that America was not founded on Christianity. So it's not a Christian country. Unless, again, by Christian country, you mean majority of the people were Christian. The people who founded it were Christian, yeah, but they didn't base it on the Bible. And that's no better than saying, like, a university was created by a Muslim. So what, if I, as a Muslim, go build a university, does that mean the university is a Muslim university all of a sudden? That would be a stupid, moronic, brain-dead thing to argue. Unless, of course, I was teaching Islam and it was based on Islam.
They were Episcopalians. They were all different manner of Christian. It wasn't until hundreds of years later that you guys started coming in here. You should count yourself as lucky. And look, I don't hate.
I'm so lucky. I'm so lucky. The Zionists massacred my people and forced them to flee and continue to occupy the land illegally and put more illegal Jewish settlements in the West Bank and further genocide my people. I'm so lucky that I'm Canada because America's funding that. Yeah, I'm so lucky and so happy to Nick Fuentes and his country. Like, and by the way, I don't hate America. Like, I know it sounds bad, but these are all facts. This is what they did, and I'm not going to be happy. But I'm dividing, I'm changing, am I brain dead? I'm differentiating between the country, the people, and the action, right? Just because the country and the deep state wanted to do one thing doesn't mean I hate the country. Doesn't mean I hate the people. I hate what they did, and I'm able and allowed to hate what they did because it was wrong.
Hate Muslims.
What's he say?
Count yourself as lucky. And look, I don't hate Muslims. I don't hate them at all. And I'm not saying we should take away their rights. I think they should have a right to practice their religion.
And pray at Times Square because that's our right and that is legal and it's allowed.
And they should have their same right as anybody else. But we need to fight for the core and the center. This is a Christian civilization, not a Muslim.
It is the core and the center that we're allowed freedom of religion and practice. It's literally, it's in the Constitution. It is. If that's not the core and the center, what is? And if that is the core and the center and you want to change it, then you do want to take away the rights from Muslims. So, it doesn't make any sense, really. He's not making sense to me.
One, you want to go and practice your religion in your mosque, knock yourself out. But the signs are not going to be in Arabic, my friend. And you want to do.
I don't know if this guy's like stupid or something, but they'll be in both. They'll be in Arabic and they'll be in English. Okay? Because you're a secular country that allows such things.
Do your call to prayer, do it inside the mosque. Don't.
Does this guy like hate Chinatown or something? Like he goes to Chinatown, he sees a bunch of Chinese signs and he just like loses his mind? Or is it only when it comes to Muslims?
Do it in public. And you see what's happening in Europe. This is where they're losing it. The call to prayer goes out in the United Kingdom, in the UK.
Yep. And you know what? The government's allowed it. The secular liberal country and the government's allowed it. So who's complaining about it? Go complain to your government. Go make the change.
In the land of the conquerors, the Anglo-Saxons of King Edward and Lord Nelson, you have the Muslim call to prayer, and they're so fucking dishonest. They come here and say, oh, well, John Adams said that America isn't Christian. Oh, I'm sorry, is the United Kingdom Christian? Is the United Kingdom Muslim? Is France Muslim?
Do you think to be a Muslim country means you play the adhan out loud? Like that's what it means to be a Muslim country. You play the adhan out loud? No, it's a secular liberal country, which means you can have church bells, you can have the adhan, and you can have whatever, I don't know what the Jews use for a call to prayer or congregation or whatever.
Is Germany, they don't care. That this is lying. This is taqiyya. This is targeted lying.
Taqiyya,
you
okay.
are lying.
Funny. I hate the taqiyya point because you can never win. As Sunnis, we don't practice taqiyya in the way that some of the Shias do, where you could just lie for the sake of lying or for spreading the religion or whatever, which, by the way, is what Paul did. It's what Paul advocated for. But regardless, Muslims don't believe that. So I, as a Sunni, when I say, I think it is a horn for the Jews, but regardless, I, as a Sunni, when I say taqiyya means that you lie to like save your life. If your life's in danger, if someone puts a gun to your head and says, are you a Muslim? If you are, you're going to die. Then you can lie and say, I'm not. Right? This happened at the time of the Prophet ﷺ, and a Sahabi lied to save his life, and he was allowed. He was forgiven because it's not a problem. It's your life. That's what taqiyya means. It doesn't mean that you ask, are you taking over? And I go, no, I'm not taking over, Mr. Fuentes. No, that's not what it means. But when you say that, they're like, oh, you're just doing taqiyya. You're just doing it now and lying.
So someone needs to call it out. And here's the thing. They all want to say, oh, well, we're just being unfairly vilified by the Jews. And then they attack us Christians.
We're being unfairly vilified by everyone, by the Zionists and by not not every single Zionist and not every single Christian, but generally speaking, by a subsection of Christians and by a majority of Zionists, we're being vilified. Yeah, we are. And that is the truth, and that's not a lie. And you're quite literally doing it right here in this video.
Christians. And that I will not tolerate. You want to attack Israel? Knock yourself out. You want to criticize the Jews? Hey, you know what? Knock yourself out. You start coming for Christians. You start coming for the West. You start coming for America. Now we got a big problem.
So I'm not allowed to criticize worshiping a Jewish man and even eating God's blood, or sorry, eating God's flesh and drinking his blood. Pardon me. I'm not allowed to criticize it. What do you mean coming for the Christians? No one's attacking Christians. We're refuting Christianity because it's a bunch of, like, let's be real, just man worship. But regardless, I'm not allowed to do that all of a sudden. And he never says anything substantive. It's always this vague thing of attacking or conquering, but he never defines or explains how.
I am an American and I am a Christian, and this is a Christian nation.
Again, it's a Christian nation. What do you mean by that? Majority of people are Christian, or the Constitution is Christian and based on Christianity? Because it's not.
So that's a bit, don't overstay your welcome.
It's not a welcome if you are a citizen. Like SonnyFaz, by the way, is a citizen. He's a white citizen of America, and he is a Muslim. It's not overstaying his welcome. It's his country.
It's crazy. That really pisses me off. It's always this one struggle, and then the second they find an opportunity, they want to put the screws in and they want to twist the knife on Christians and they want to criticize the West.
Yeah, well, sorry. Can the West not be criticized? Can the West not be? Don't you criticize your own Western country for like giving a bunch of taxpayer dollars to Israel? You're allowed to criticize it. We're not allowed to criticize it. Like it's a stupid BS brain dead point. Now I'm gonna skip to the SonnyFaz stuff because like he's just kind of yapping, and I've been live for a while. I want to get to the point.
Prepare for war.
Oh,
Become a weapon. I've always said this. Don't make excuses. Don't be a victim. Don't be pushed around. Get organized. Get organized. Find some like-minded friends. Get together. Go to the gym. Learn martial arts. Do tactical training. Get your bag up. Increase your influence and power. Take your own side. We have to become a powerful nation again.
You know, it's so funny because he's arguing this for white Christians, but he's not allowing it for Muslims. Muslims are not even doing this. Okay, they're not even looking to do this in America. Everything he's saying, and to organize and to conquer and to change the way of living and to change the Constitution or whatever he might want to do. We're not even doing that. But he's asserting that we are, and he's getting mad at us for doing it, or for doing it. But then he turns around and he says, Christians need to unite. White people need to unite. Get your bag up, go to the gym, get strong, learn martial arts, organize, and make real change in your country. So why do you get to do it and we don't? And then he's going to say, well, it's a Christian country, it's a white majority country, whatever. Then how come your white majority country invaded our Arab, Middle Eastern, Asian countries, African countries, and started changing our ways, forcing democracy and whatever else? You can do it and we can't? This is pure hypocrisy. And now when I criticize America for doing that, don't criticize our country, don't criticize the West, don't overstay your welcome, blah, blah, blah. You can never win with these people because they're not looking to be fair and reasonable. They're looking to cry and complain where it fits them and then to vilify and demonize when it fits them.
Again. And we have to take our own side as a nation, not rely on these other people, not rely on the Saracens, not rely on the Jews. We have to take our own side.
Take it. Take your own side. That's fine. Leave the Muslims out of it. Because trust me, Muslims are not doing anything to you, and the Muslims are not the group you have to worry about right now.
So anyway, yeah, I see that clip, and it's like, okay, pal. He goes, I'm going to wear my thobe, and I'm going to wear my thobe. I'm going to be in Times Square. It's like, oh, so what happened to those Muslims of discretion in the park? Oh, I see. Switched it up.
Yeah, it's allowed. You're allowed to pray in Times Square. It's literally a congregation spot for Ramadan for Muslims to pray, and it's allowed by the city. They allow it, and that's the point of Times Square. It's different from a random everyday park where the point of the park is not to pray, and the park was not rented out for prayer. Do you get the difference now?
Switched it up as always. We love Sneeko. No beef with him, but I just intensely disagree. Every time he gets on the Muslim shit, it pisses me off.
Yeah, obviously. Like, it's such a brain dead thing. Anytime Sneeko does anything Muslim, it pisses him off. Wow, I'm so surprised.
It's always, it's a challenge.
You could tell he's trying so hard to lure Sneeko back to Christianity. And I don't know why he's going about it in such a brain dead way, where he just you just criticize everything he does in the hopes that he one day goes back to Christianity just so he doesn't get criticized by Nick anymore. But like, it's such a stupid method. It lacks substance, and it ultimately it doesn't even help. So I don't know what the point of taking this route is.
As it just has no basis here. And it's like, little homie, what are you doing, man? You're born in New York. You're Filipino, Haitian, Hungarian. What are you doing hanging out with these Packies? What is this brainwash LARP? You got to drop that. Pray for Sneeko. Don't rape Sneeko. Pray for Sneeko.
What a moronic thing to say, seriously. And what a brain dead guy. This guy thinks religions are categorized by race. Now, maybe that he's starting to sound Jewish, because that's what the Jews do. Judaism is a Jewish religion. Christianity is not a white religion in any sense of the word. Although it was adopted by white people, it was brought, according to his perspective, brought by Jews. Paul was a Jew who accepted Christianity. According to him, Jesus led and started Christianity, and then Paul went and spread it and whatever, even though they never met. And the disciples preached what he thinks is Christianity nowadays. That's what they believe. They were all Jews from the Middle East. Do you think they were white Romans in Italy? Do you think they were white New Yorkers?
People super chat, they say rape Sneeko. I say heart.
Sorry, I should have cut that out or something, but I didn't know he was going to say that.
Bring him back to the Lord. Reconcile him with Christ. SonnyFaz, feed him to the Muslims. I hope they cut off his...
He does say it. He does say it here. I paused because I don't want it to get flagged, but this is where he says that about SonnyFaz. Why? Let's see if he adds anything of substance.
Sad. SonnyFaz, feed him to the Saudis. Feed him. I want them to get him like Jamal Khashoggi.
It's so funny. He's acting like the Muslims are going to do anything negative to SonnyFaz. Sonny is our brother. We'll take care of him, inshallah, forever. He's one of us now. He's like this with us. There's no difference between SonnyFaz as a white Muslim and me as an Arab Palestinian Muslim. Nor is there any difference between the two of us and a black Muslim, Asian Muslim, African Muslim, European Muslim, North American, South American Muslim, Australian Muslim. There's no difference. We're all Muslim. We don't categorize our religion on the basis of race like brain dead, low IQ morons.
But Sneeko, pray for Sneeko. He's got to come back.
It's so pathetic. It's honestly pathetic. The fact that he's so mad that Sonny is a white guy who accepted Islam and is preaching it and doing a better job of preaching Islam than Nick is of doing Christianity to his own audience is pathetic. I don't know if he sees Sneeko as like more of a friend and that's why he's like trying to bring Sneeko back, or if he thinks that like SonnyFaz is just like, there's no way you're going to get to him, therefore let's just like feed him to the dogs or whatever. But like, you're not going to get anyone with this. You're not reaching anyone or preaching to anyone except people who are already Christians and they're brain dead and they're never going to consider any other religion because they're defiantly disobedient and close their eyes, their ears, and their heart to the truth.
Otherwise, it's going to be like Kingdom of Heaven. It's going to be like that movie.
It's funny. It's all talk and preaching with this guy. Like I can see why people like his content because like they just go to get all egoed, to get built up, to build up the zeal and this sense of community and belonging and brotherhood and conquering. And you know, like the French, when they had the revolution, they just went around beheading everyone. And yeah, but then like what does it really produce aside from hatred and more persecution and harassment. Like, does this guy do anything substantive? Does this guy provide anything of value aside from just like emotions and complaining?
But anyway, no, we love Sneeko. SonnyFaz, race traitor. You turned your back on your own people.
Wow. Because he doesn't want to worship a Jewish man and eat God's flesh and drink God's blood and believe that God walked the earth and came out of a woman's, and had a male's private parts and all that stuff and got erections and whatever disgusting stuff you believe about God. He's a race traitor. He's no longer a white person. Like, it's honestly so stupid. It's so brain dead.
But Sneak.
And if Christianity is a white person religion, why do you want a non-white person like Sneeko to come back so bad? Why are you okay losing a white person like SonnyFaz, but you want so desperately for a non-white person to become a Christian? If Christianity is a white person religion, then does becoming Christian make you white all of a sudden? Because it sounds like what the Jews say, where you have to ethnically be Jewish to be religiously Jewish. Except it doesn't actually mean anything. I assume all he means is that if you're white, you should be Christian. But then what's the basis for that? What's the reason for that? Aside from the fact that the Romans adopted a honestly pagan belief, which is Christianity, from their previous pagan belief to their new pagan belief. Aside from that, what makes Christianity a white person religion?
We got to return.
June 36, Bubba sent $30. Goyim in ascendance.
Goyim in ascendance.
I think, honestly, let's be real. I think Nick Fuentes is probably the goodest goy that there is. His country is a very good goy country. They feed money to the Zionist entity. They allow AIPAC to come and infiltrate and to bribe their politicians who then pass pro-Israeli bills to send more money to Israel and then continue to feed the cycle, supplying money and arms, and one day maybe even manpower like they did in Iraq. That was all for the purpose of Israel, by the way. But regardless of all of that, I'm sure Nick already knows, he's the goodest goy. I mean, he worships a Jew. He was convinced by a Jew, Saul, who named himself Paul, and went around lying about Jesus. He was convinced by a Jew to worship a Jew. You're the goodest goy there is. You literally worship a Jewish man. You were convinced by a Jew to worship a Jew. Now listen, you want to believe that, that's fine. Don't talk about goys because, I mean, you're example A of what a good goy looks like. But regardless, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. It's getting late here. اللهم آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. And I'll see you on the next one. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.